Okay, so question one, explain the relationship between marginal product and average product. What happens to average product when marginal product is greater than average product, equal to average product, and less than average product? So, colleagues, before we even start answering, the first question which I need to pose to you is, what is marginal product? Remember, we have done this before. Okay, I believe everyone remembers what everyone here was present in that class. Mr. Trumbo, you can begin. You can open the floor. What is marginal product? Eesh, colleagues. Yes, Mr. Chimonia, yes. That's a nice and formal definition. Yes, colleagues, marginal equals addition. Okay, so marginal product is just the additional output when you hire an extra worker. Okay, or any other input apart from workers. Okay, maybe that input can be machinery, so maybe it can also additional output when you hire an extra worker or extra machinery. Are we okay with that, colleagues? Are we okay with that? Yes. Now, what is average product? Oh, you went out, you went off. Just say it again, but I think you are correct. No? I would just finish what you said before I interject. Mr. Chimunya, you said the output per worker, right? That's correct. All right. Average product is the output per worker. So, for those who are there in that class, what did I say last time is the relationship between marginal product and average product? Before I step in, because we looked at this. I don't think I ever recorded it in that video. What is the relationship between these two? Mr. Emmanuel? You can dive in, sir. Uh huh. Yes. Uh huh. Yes. Yes. So like marginal product is like a magnet to average product. When marginal product is increasing, average product is also increasing. When marginal product is reducing, average product is reducing. Then when marginal product is equal to average product, then average product is at its maximum. Have we got that, colleagues? Okay, Madam Sylvia. Madam Miriam, have you got that? Mr. Dennis, Madam Betha, Mr. Boniface. Okay, any questions before we move to the next part? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Marginal product is like a magnet average product. Okay, well then in this assignment, in this question, don't say maybe you try to find a formal word than magnet, but I think you can also use magnet. Okay, when marginal product is increasing, okay, average product is also increasing. Okay, then when marginal product is reducing, average product is also reducing. Then when marginal product is equal to average product, then average product is at its maximum. Is that okay, Mr. Twambo? Mm-hmm. Wonderful, Madam Sylvia. That is also correct. Yes, because a positive relationship means when one goes up, the other one is also going up. When one goes down, the other one goes down. So, Madam, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. That's actually better than saying it's a magnet. Thank you, Madam. Yes, I believe we're all clear now. This question should never give you problems, even though it's brought in multiple choice. By remembering this, I think you won't have any problems if it's brought to you in a multiple choice situation. Okay, we might even see this relationship in this table here. The table below shows the output of tomatoes in kilograms based on the number of laborers hired. Complete the table below by calculating the average product and the marginal product for each level of labor from 1 to 6. All right, so we'll start with the marginal product. Okay, so here, since we don't have any output before 1, so this marginal product, I believe it's a dash here. Okay, there's no marginal product because there's no any output before 1. Okay, any questions on that? No, but wait, let me. I think just hold on. I think you still need to put 50 there. I'll just need to clarify. But for now, let's use 50. Okay. I believe you need to put 50. You assume that, okay, at zero, out. Hmm, hmm, hmm. That's what I'm also thinking. Then again, I'm also thinking of a dash. Okay, let's. Let me hear your. Let me hear your. Yes, Mr. Vincent. Okay, I'll need to confirm on this. I have to check on a question. There was a similar question, but for now, will we be comfortable using the dash or the fifth? I'm also okay. I'm also kind of leaning towards that one. That's why I'm saying that for now, let's work with that 50 for now first before we put the dash. Mhm. Mhm. I will lean towards putting. Okay, I get what you're saying, sir. I get what you're saying. If we use the formula, there's nothing in before that. Okay, but I'm just saying for now. I'm still trying to leaning towards putting the 50 there because I'm thinking the question will make you assume that okay, when it's there's zero workers, there's zero productivity. So 50 minus zero, 50. But I'll confirm. Okay, I'll confirm after this class so that in case if it's a dash, we'll put a dash. But for now, let's work with that 50. Okay, so we'll put 50 here. Oh, let me even put the formula for marginal product. Marginal product equals TP2 total product 1 minus TP1 total product 1 divided by, we'll say L2, the new number of workers, minus L1, the old number of workers. That is the formula. And I believe here you have to show all your workings, because if you just put figures inside, yes. But for this video, I'll just skip putting through this formula, okay? Because we know our denominator is always going to be 1. Since the number of workers is increasing by 1, so our denominator is always going to be 1, okay? Then average product, it's total product divided by the amount of labor. So say TP divided by L, all right? So the average product 50 divided by 1, we get 50. We move on. We hire the second worker. Our total product has increased to 120. So our marginal product, what's our marginal product, colleagues, here? 70 years. Yes, 120 minus 50 divided by 2 minus 1 gets 70. Okay. Average product, 120 divided by 2, we get 60. Okay, as we see that relationship, marginal product is increasing. As we can see also, average product is increasing. Okay, so this second work has brought 70 extra units. Okay, by hiring this second worker, they brought in 70 extra units. We go to the second one, or the third part. From 2 workers, we hire now the third worker. Total product has grown from 120 to 180. So the marginal product, 180 minus 120, 60. Average product, 180 divided by 3, that is 60. So here, marginal product equals average product. So we expect this to be the highest average product. Okay. Then here, from the third worker, we're going to the fourth worker. So we're going to say 220 minus 80. What do we get? 220 minus 80. 40. Average product, 40. So average product, 220 divided by 4, 55. Okay. Yes. So we've seen marginal product is starting to drop now. Average product has also started to drop. Right. Then we hire the fifth worker. Output increases to 240. So 240 minus 220, that is 20. Yes. Okay. Then average product, 240 divided by 5, 48. Here we have the sixth worker. They haven't brought any additional produce. So marginal product, 0. Average product, 240 divided by 6, 40. Yes. Any questions? Uh, Okay, for the exam, I would say you can do it like this. But for the assignment, um, it's kind of hard. I'm not really, but for the assignment, just put the workings in there, just to just give yourself an assurance that you get full marks if you put the workings in there. And in the exam, they'll understand if those workings are not there. Is that okay, Mr. Chimonia, for the assignment? If you've got time in the exam, put also the workings there. Okay. But for the assignment, I think you to secure yourself to be on the safe side. I think you have to do that. Yes. At what level of labor does diminishing marginal returns begin to set in? Justify your answer with reference to the marginal product. Yes. What do we call this region first? Before we go, what do we call this region here? Here you've got increasing returns. Okay, I go to you. Hmm. So yeah, basically you're saying that's where this is where it begins, right? The diminishing. Yes, that is correct. Okay. Diminishing marginal returns always begins once the marginal product starts. Okay. Once the marginal product starts to reduce, that's when you know okay, diminishing returns has begin. Okay. And then as the marginal product continues to reduce until it reaches below zero, then you have now negative returns. So, colleagues, it begins here at three workers because marginal product has started to reduce. Are we okay with that? Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Twambo, for that. Mhm. You can write that, but then after you write that, then you say, so the diminishing marginal returns begins on the third work as the marginal product starts to reduce there. At three, no, no, not at three workers, at three workers. And then to justify your answer, you say the marginal product has dropped from 70 to 60. Yes. When the marginal product is zero, what does this imply for the firm's production? Meaning when you hire a next work, okay, yes. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Yes. Mhm. It doesn't bring any additional output at all. Now, what does this imply? Yes. Or you said it declines after the second laborer. That don't be also correct, madam, because yes, it begins after the second laborer. So yes, it's you're basically saying the same thing. Mm. Was there another question? Mm. That's a good observation. Yes, total output will actually continue reducing at this point here. So, yes. So what? Um, now put it as an answer to that part. For what does this imply for a film's production? One, this point is called the saturation point, colleagues. When marginal product is zero, this is the saturation point. Okay. So here, any additional worker that you bring, they're not bringing any additional output. Okay. And your total product is going to continue reducing. So the firm shouldn't even think of hiring any workers at this point because the firm will be losing out money. You have now more workers in the firm, your output is low. It means that can also translate to losses. Okay, because you've got workers who are just sitting around, okay, who need to also get paid, and your output is reducing. So it will mean that the firm will be running at a loss. So that's one of the implications. Any additions, subtractions? Yes. Okay. Or on the. Do not worry. I'll write all of that. I'll write all of that stuff. Okay. Explain the concept of diminishing marginal returns. Have I been kicked out when the class goes quiet like this? Huh? Start thinking I've been kicked out. Colleagues love diminishing marginal returns. Mr. Twambo, you were present that day. Mr. Anchimona, you were present. Madam Sylvia was present. Mr. Vincent was present. Mr. Kasono was present. Who else was present today? Madam Betha, you were present. Love diminishing marginal returns. What do you mean something? uh, uh, yeah. Fixed inputs. Let's say okay, but you've started wonderfully, Mr. Vincent. You have started on a wonderful um, beginning. Because you're actually explaining the law of diminishing marginal returns there. Mm. Or even less. Because remember, because if, and remember, even these machines, if the more people are working on one machine, they can break down. It gets breakdown, so your final output reduces. So basically, oh, anyway, before maybe Mr. Trumbo is going to tell us. Yes, Mr. Trumbo. Yes, that's another way to put it. You're correct on that one, sir. That's another way to put it. Okay, it's just that yes. Colleagues, have we digested what Mr. Trumbo said? If you keep on adding, okay, let me. If you keep, Yes, and then as it decreases, what happen to total output? Mm-mm. It will decrease. Imagine output is decreasing, total output can't increase. Yes, maybe let me try to say it. Okay, but Mr. Trump, that is correct what you've said. You haven't said anything wrong. Okay, it's just the maybe yes the chizungu. eh? That's where we need to refine the English here. Okay, yes. So as you add in more variable inputs, workers, when you have fixed inputs, land, labor, or capital, your marginal product is going to eventually reduce. And as it reduces, your total product is also going to reduce. The concept, the concept, Mr. Vincent explained the concept. If you've got fixed capital and you keep on bringing in more workers, and there's going to be laziness, inefficiency, and the additional output each worker is going to bring would drop, and eventually your total output will drop. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, on the last on the last part, I'm focusing on what to type here. So on the last part, you are saying that the more workers that are there and there's a fixed sewing machine, eventually, just say it again one more time. Yes. Uh, mhm. No, let me just correct you on one part. You continue hiring more workers. You don't just end on those three. You bring in a fourth week, a fifth week, a sixth week. The more workers you keep on hiring, or you've just got one sewing machine, first the additional output each worker brings is going to reduce. Okay, then eventually your total output is also going to reduce. And to, the more workers that you have who are sitting around lazing around there, it will bring in inefficiency to your frame. Okay. And those workers who are busy lounging around, you still also need to pay them. So eventually you'll be running at a loss. The more workers you keep bringing in, when you will just have one sewing machine. This the additional output each worker brings will drop. Okay, that's the first thing that happens. The additional output each worker brings drops. That's the first thing. Then, as it continues dropping, the total output is also going to eventually drop. Hmm. Yes. The law of diminishing marginal returns, or sometimes called the law of variable proportions. In case you hear the word variable proportions, they're just talking about the same law here. As you keep on adding on more variable units. Yes, Mr. Chimunya? Excuse me. Mm, mm, yes. Uh-huh. Eh, it's going, yes. You have, just to add on your thing, yes. The more chefs you have in that kitchen, okay, now it means when a customer comes to make an order, there's a conflict between chefs because there's one wants to use the, maybe five have to use the pot, but one is using it. Have you seen? And then now you also now have chefs sitting in the kitchen just doing nothing because that pot is being used by other workers and whatever. So eventually, the amount of food you'll be saving will reduce. Yes. Or maybe, for example, when you're studying, as you study, what you're remembering is, you're going to be remembering things in the first 1 hour, 2 hours of study, right? But as more hours go and as you are studying, what you start remembering starts to diminish now. Hmm? The law of diminishing marginal remembering. That's what it's called. The more hours you put in studying, what you're remembering is going to just be dropping, 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 dropping. Perhaps you even fail the test. So don't study for 7 hours, colleagues. This law will apply to you. Each additional unit of information you forget now. Yes. Ah, colleagues. Start. Mm. 3 hours, colleagues, is adequate enough. 3 hours. Yes. So that's the law of diminishing marginal returns, colleagues. You know what English to put. Okay. I'll I'll post a document which has got I'll post someone's document who I've typed for. I'll post. So you shouldn't copy what is there. And this is a notice, okay? I'm going to post these answers, but it's for someone who I've typed. So do not copy. Because I don't want that person who I've typed for. There are 100 people who have got their copy. Find your 70 of you with the same answers. So yes, I'll post everything so that you can see what ways you can put. Yeesh. This one is on graphs. Okay, colleagues, we'll come to this one, part A, okay? We'll come to this one. Can we look at this one first here? Because this one is still in line with what we're doing. This part A is a new topic, okay? It's a new topic. I just want us to finish production theory with that question first before we jump to a new topic. Is that okay, colleagues? Mr. Chimunya, is that okay? Okay, Mr. Okay, yes. Okay. Okay. For this type of questions, these are the formulae you should always remember so that whenever you're given this type, let me just write them down. Average variable cost equals total variable cost divided by Q. Average fixed cost equals total fixed cost divided by Q. Average total cost is the total cost divided by Q. Just remember, whenever there's the word average, your denominator is Q. Okay? Your denominator is Q. Then, because I believe here they wanted you to find marginal revenue and so total variable cost, total cost, marginal cost. Marginal cost, same formula as marginal product. Okay, whatever is marginal cost, marginal revenue, yes, all of them follow this same formula here. Huh? No, let's see about is it what about the others? Can you see the formula? Yeah. Madam, try to log in and log out. Okay. Average revenue, total revenue over Q. Okay. Eh, So if you just remember one, then you remember all of them. Okay. Do not even get troubled by all of these formulae. So we're going to apply these formulae in this table, which we are looking at down here. Says you're given the following data concerning the production costs and the average revenue of a profit maximizing firm that produces good X. The fixed costs of production are 100 kwacha. Okay, so we've got our table here. Okay, short run average costs, our average variable costs here, our average revenue here. All right, so here they want us to find our total variable costs, our total costs, our marginal costs, our marginal revenue, and our profit and loss at each level of output. Think can I transfer this to Excel? so that we move faster. So, first thing, we've been given our fixed costs. Okay, we're given our fixed costs. So we make a column here for our fixed costs. Fixed cost is 100 kwacha. All right. We need first find our total variable costs, TVC. So this fixed cost will say total fixed costs, okay, TFC. So to get our total variable cost, we're going to use this formula here, okay, for if average variable cost equals total variable cost over the quantity, then it means total variable cost equals average variable cost multiplied by quantity. Okay, this is the formula we're going to use to get our total variable costs. All right, so it's our average variable cost times quantity. Okay, so for 1 unit, 1 times 110, 110. For 2 units, 2 times 95, get 190. Remember, I'm just multiplying these two columns here, okay, to get this here. Okay, 3 times 80, get 240. Yes. Any questions before we go to the next column? Mm-hmm. Yes. Remember, fixed costs, yes, they stay constant despite level of output. That's total fixed costs. Average fixed costs behave different. Did you know that, colleagues? Total fixed costs is a straight line. They don't change. Just they're not dependent on output. But average fixed costs, they tend to reduce the more output you have. That's where the economies of scale comes in. Okay. You produce a lot of units, so your fixed costs are spread out through those units. So it becomes cheaper to produce each unit. That's under economies of scale. Yes. Mr. Carson, have I answered your question? These, yes, 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 yes. Mm, okay. Okay, now we need to find our total costs, TC. TVC plus TFC. Okay, so here our total fixed cost 100 plus total variable cost 110 to 10. Here 100 plus 190 to 90. Okay, colleagues, I'm adding these two columns to get this total fixed cost. I hope the numbers are still visible. 100 plus 240, 340. Okay, you just add the total variable cost and the total fixed cost. Let me remove the coloring. How about now? Hey. Colleagues, are we all able to see my screen? Log out, Sam. Yes. Any questions? What was the next thing that they needed us to find here? Oh, marginal costs. Okay, so here there is no zero. So I'll confirm on this one again also. We'll start with the initial total cost here. Then when we increase from 1 unit to 2 units, remember marginal cost just change in total cost. So here 290 minus 210, that is 8. 340 minus 290, that is 50. 400 minus 340, that is 60. 510 minus 400, that is 110. Yes, that's how you get your marginal costs. Are we okay with that? The way I was subtracting, sir, remember how you subtract? For this one, you do 290 minus 210, you get 8. For this next one, you do 340 minus 290, 50. For this next one, you do 400 minus 340, 60. Just the way we'll get marginal cost in the other one. Huh? I did the same thing I did in that previous question where we just started with a 1. There was no 0 in front. So the we assume that it's 0 in front. That's how I put the 210 there. Yes. Yes. Yeah, but I'll get back to this one to see if the dash has to be there. I'll get back to see if the dash has to be there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes, madam, you are saying what? Um, it's the same one because remember the previous question here, this one here, it was asked that it was thing, it was just labor here, but you saw marginal product, and it was marginal product and total product. You saw marginal product. We started with 50 for the first unit of labor. So even here, I'm doing the same thing for the first output. I'm putting marginal cost of 210. Is that okay, Madam Geraldine? Later on, yes, we can. No, but yeah, we can. You can still ask where you're still confused, though. Okay, because what's the point of finishing the question when people are left confused? It's even better we end where the confusion is beginning. So yes, what's the okay? Also, yeah, you're saying that here it should be dash on marginal cost. It should be dash here instead. Okay, as I said, I also confirm. Okay, I also confirm. Okay. For now, let's. For now, that's what Mr. Trump. For now, let's just assume that when there were no units being produced, the marginal cost was zero. Then, when you brought the first unit, the marginal cost became 210. Yes, Mr. Twambo. Oh, you Googled the question. It started. There was a dash. Okay, just send me a screenshot on my WhatsApp. Then, okay, if there's evidence that it has to be a dash. Okay. 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 So here we'll put it as a dash. I'll also check. I'll confirm. Okay. Just that it's been long. Oh, just hold on, Miss Anchimoni. Oh, just hold on, Miss Anchimonia. Yes, Madam, you are saying. Oh, yes. Actually, yes. To support your point, yes. Madam Sylvia, yes. On the zero, that's where there is a dash. Yes. On the zero, that's where the dash has to be. Madam Sylvia. Ma- Huh? Madam Geraldine. Madam Geraldine, listen. Um, let me back what Madam Sylvia said. When it says zero, okay, if here there was zero here, since zero has got no number before it, that's why we're putting a dash on the zero there. So now one, we're assuming since zero comes before one, so the first total cost was zero. The new total cost is now 210. Okay, the first output was zero, the new output was still one. So here, yes, there has to be a number here, colleagues. Mr. Twambo, where you Googled, it started with a zero, right? Where there was a dash. Yes. So the dash comes where there's a zero, but where there's a one, there shouldn't be a dash. I don't know how that skipped me. Madam Sylvia, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. So, colleagues, yes, the dash only comes where there is a zero, since you're assuming there's nothing before zero. You cannot produce negative units. Okay. So the dash will come where there's a zero. But where it starts from one, you just assume okay, zero was before. So you do your same tabulations and you just put the same. It's marginal product or marginal cost. Have I convinced you, Madam Deputy? Yes, zero output. Yes, there's no marginal cost for zero units. Yes, yes, yes. So when in the question, they have put for you a zero on marginal. Whatever is marginal, it will also be zero. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mr. Chimunyi and Madam Geraldine, have I convinced you? No, no, no. You know what, Mr. Chimunyi? No, the thing is this. That's how the examiner is trying to confuse you. Okay, because remember, as we said, when we've started at one, we've assumed okay, when we have zero output or zero units, there is no marginal cost there. Okay, because nothing comes before zero. But one, there's something that comes before it, and that's the zero. That's why I'm saying the zero has the dash, but the one, you shouldn't put a dash because assume that it's zero before that one. I don't think you'll be penalized for assuming that a zero comes before a one. Uh-huh. Before, yes. Yes. You are correct. You are very correct on that one. Colleagues, just take it like that. And when you bring in the first work, initially you are at zero. Okay? So there was nothing being produced. Okay? And nothing can come before zero. Okay? That's why we've employed that dash there on the zero row. Okay? Because colleagues, okay, think about it like this. Imagine there was a zero there. Imagine there was a zero there. Are we going to have two dashes? Oh, sorry, sorry. Okay, okay. Ish, colleagues, I've even eaten my time. I need to be the second years. Okay. But yes, Madam Geraldine and Mr. Chimunya, just think about it, okay? The reason the examiner is trying to confuse you there. Okay, they've seen that okay, this person is used to a zero. Let me remove that zero column. Okay. And when they remove that zero column, okay, remember before one there is a zero. So there should be something margin. Okay, because there's an increment from zero to one. There's an increment. So something additional is coming in. When you move from zero to one, something additional is coming in. Wouldn't we agree on that point? Something additional has to come in. Okay. We remained with like four because there's why isn't this thing? Okay. We've got average revenue, so then we need to find total revenue. Okay, TR, total revenue. So total revenue, remember here, that's what the numbers put my phone on charge. Yes, average revenue equals total revenue over formula. Yes, average revenue equals total revenue over quantity. So total revenue is going to be average revenue times your quantity. Okay. Total revenue will be your average revenue times quantity. AR times Q. So average revenue times quantity. Oh, okay. Average revenue times quantity. Are we okay with that? Hello? Sorry, my bundle's finished. Okay. So I was saying total revenue is just your average revenue multiplied by the quantity. Okay. Average revenue multiplied by quantity. That's how you get your total revenue. Is that okay, colleagues? Is that okay? Total revenue is average revenue times quantity. Okay, we'll need to pause here for today. The second years have studied